The key issue is whether the person is has discretion or not.
So what's the point?
I don't take such things to heart. Hello, you're welcome to Gist Arena. All we do is gist, and gist. We discuss topical, trending, and exciting topics, and we have fun while at it. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy each thrilling moment of gist, and gist. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Gist Arena, where all we do is gist, and gist. Thank you so much for listening to us on our previous episode. I hope that you had a wonderful time and trust that you would have a wonderful time as well listening to us on today's episode. I am Cynthia and I am joined as usual by my fellow ladies and gisters, Ayotunde and Adenike. Ladies, how have you been? How's everything? I trust that you've been you've had a wonderful day, wonderful week. Now, today we will be discussing an interesting topic once again. We will be gisting about social media, our friends, our relationship dynamic with our friends on social media, how social media affects it, and so on and so forth, just around social media basically. Now, ladies, would you consider yourself social media active? Would you, do you think you are do you think you are all out there? And if you are, can you let us know what apps you are active on? And if you're not active on some apps, let's know as well. Now, the ones that you are active on, why are you active on them? And the ones that you are not, why are you not active on them? When I think about myself on social media, I don't know, our relationship is quite that of a love-hate one. I remember that when I first got on social media, I would say that I was, I was okay. I was okay. I wouldn't say I was active. I was okay, but as the years got by, man, I jumped off the bandwagon. So right now, I think I'm trash when it comes to social media, but that's by the way. Anyway, so ladies, over to you. Let me know.
Hello, Cynthia. Hello, Adenike. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on this episode. It's good to be here again. So let's get on to it. Social media. Oh, yes. I'm a regular user of social media apps. I'm not quite active on some of them, but I'm pretty active on Facebook. I'm quite active on Instagram. And I'm very, very active on WhatsApp. Okay, there's that controversy whether WhatsApp is an instant messaging platform or a social media platform. But I would say that WhatsApp has evolved over the years to afford, more opportunities for social interactions. So for me, I think it is more of SM now than IM. So yes, I'm quite active on WhatsApp. I use LinkedIn, but I'm not so active. Let me just say that quietly. I'm not quite active on LinkedIn. I'm trying to get a hang of it, but I'm not really active there. What other? Telegram? It's also more like WhatsApp, and I'm not quite active on Telegram. I actually got on Telegram because a friend opted, out of WhatsApp. He preferred Telegram, and so he jettisoned WhatsApp, and so I got on Telegram just so we could communicate. And I use it more frequently now, but I'm still not very active on Telegram. Which are the ones? I blog. I want to believe that blogging platforms are also, although they're traditional, but then they're also some type of social media platform. So, oh God, I've not blogged in a while, but I do some blogging. So I use WordPress. YouTube. Oh yes, YouTube. I use YouTube a lot. What other platform am I on now? I use Pinterest and Quora, but then I use them to source information. I use Pinterest to source for pictures, some particular types of pictures that I need. And although Google also comes to the rescue, but I use Pinterest for that. Although I'm not active on Pinterest, beyond sourcing for pictures. I also use Quora, of course, to get information too. But then that's just all that I do there. I don't drop comments or anything like that. And Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not active on Twitter. I don't even understand Twitter like that. Like for one, I can't write much on Twitter because these days you'll be breaking it into threads. All right. Oh, well, I don't. I think that was one of the things that first made me not to be so interested, the fact that I could only write, just few words, and I can really be quite an epistle writer, sometimes. So that was the first, thing that just didn't make it really quite captivating for me. But then these days, you need to have a lot of liver to actually really be on Twitter. I don't know. I don't get Twitter, so I'm not quite active on Twitter. But then I use Twitter. So that's me getting into the other question now that what do I use this social media platforms for? So Twitter, I use Twitter for entertainment. Yes, I use it for information, gathering too. So I think I use most of my social media apps for information gathering and sharing too. Okay, so I go to these places to get information. For instance, now if you want to know what's happening around, news and stuff like that, you get them on this platform, quite easily. So yes, I use these platforms for information gathering, and I also share information, on these platforms too. But really for Twitter, I just basically sometimes I go there for entertainment. That's the truth. Like if I see something on Instagram, for instance, and it's a Twitter, it's a tweet, I go to Twitter to look for that original tweet because I want to read the, buzzwords, that, you have on the thread. So yes, I just use it generally for entertainment. But like I said, I also use it to gather information, some type of information, when I need that information. And it's the same thing that I do with all other apps. But then beyond that, of course, I use that to connect with people too, and to network, and to acquire skills, because now on social media platforms, you have on WhatsApp now, for instance, a lot of people use WhatsApp to train. Okay, so I use those platforms too to acquire skills, to gather more, experience, to acquire knowledge, or like I said, to connect, to share, to care, and for entertainment, basically. So yes, that's that about social media.
Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Doc. Oh, well, how have I been? In the famous words of social media people, Kamadupe, thank God. Thank God for his protection and his preservation in this our country. It is well with all of us, in Jesus' name. So, question. The question is how how out there am I on social media, etc. So I used to be, well, my social media journey, when I think the first official social media I joined was Facebook. And that's because I think one of my university friends was that, those people we used to do Yahoo Messenger and all with, was like, madam, now, wow, don't you know Facebook? So she was the one that told me about this. I opened my first account about over 10 years ago. I still have that account anyway, but now it's just for family members and very close friends. So I had this stint where I was out there fighting everybody. I had an opinion about everything and all of that. And then I had a moment. I guess that was, I can't remember when, but I think it was about 2013 or thereabouts when I felt, oh, I need to chill a bit on social media. So I did chill. And at some point, I can't remember, maybe 2016 or so, I reinvented myself in quotes, and I was out there again as a business person, all out there. Well, I told myself I was out there for business: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, etc. But recently, I have realized that I need to chill again. I think I've been a bit too out there. And, when people are like, oh, yeah, social media has taken the place of God, I'm like, oh, what are they saying and all of that. But towards the end of this year, I realized that I think I've overstepped the boundary again, even as a business person, and I need to step back and look at my activities and make sure that the activities things I'm doing are actually pleasing, because I'm a Christian. So even if it's social media, I have to show, as in people have to know, not because I'm preaching every minute of the day, but in my conduct, in everything. I realized that I was getting to the point where the message was getting blurred. Because maybe sometimes you're trying to be savage, etc. I realized that I haven't quite got or I was going off balance again. So you all will notice that I probably have been a bit less active on social media, and that's because I'm reviewing my activities, even as a business person. Am I doing the things that I know that I'm led to do, or am I just doing things because you want to be out there? So I'm limiting my activities, long and short. There's something that hit me that let me leave that. I used to tell myself that it was mainly for work, but I realized that I was crossing the boundary. And so I've stepped back a bit and I'm looking into my activities. I'm asking myself, do I really need to make that comment? Do I really need to do this? And I'm doing a lot of pruning. Quick question for both Cynthia and Doc. Does LinkedIn qualify as social media? Does it? And to kind of chip way into what Doc was saying about WhatsApp, in my opinion, I think WhatsApp is something in between. It's not social media like that, but it's not just strictly WhatsApp messaging. It's messaging again alone. So I think it's somewhere in the middle, because sometimes we get screenshots of what was shared on WhatsApp. So you may just as well say that WhatsApp is social media, because when you're chatting with someone, you may still finally find it online. People are still perpetuating scams on WhatsApp. So I think it's somewhere in the middle.
Thank you very much, Ayatunde and Adenike. Interestingly, the two of you, I'm always in awe when I look at how out there on social media you guys are. You guys, like, I mean, you know how when somebody makes a hair and then they're like, oh, I wish I could just put this hair on my head, you like it, but you can't just go through what it takes to get that kind of outcome. That's exactly what I liken social media to be, man. I don't know if I have it in me to, be as engaging on social media as you guys are. I mean, I admire you so much, but it's just not something that's I think that I can do. I've tried, but it's just not me. So kudos to you guys. I really enjoy how out there you are. The few times I do get to check in, which is really, really few, I always try to catch up on, what you guys have put out there and stuff. And then to Adenike asking whether I would consider LinkedIn a social media. I think it is, because for me social media is basically any platform that you use to interact with people. I think the reason why you are asking whether it is a form of social media is maybe because you're comparing it to apps like Instagram and Facebook, where there's a lot of quote and unquote faffing. Let me just like there's a lot of faffing around. LinkedIn is a more professional area, and it's still the same thing that we do. We get to interact with people, strangers, people that have affinity for the same things as we do. We can choose who to it's really just like the other quote and unquote playful social media, social mediums available. So yes, I think that LinkedIn is a social media. It is just a professional one. That's it. Now, moving on. So I have something else to ask of you ladies. When making new friends, do you consider the social media presence or activities of such a friend? Is it a deal breaker, when you're trying to make friends with somebody, or maybe taking an acquaintance relationship to the next level, becoming more cordial and all of that. So give for example, now if someone is very out there on social media and you know that they share like their everyday life, that could translate into when you are around, you will obviously show up on their social media. Or if it's someone that likes to, for example, download their daily activities on social media, you would show up in whatever they're discussing. Do you consider that when you want to make friends? Or if you go out, you know that you're certainly going to end up on the person's page or the person's platform. So in that light, do you consider people's social media presence, or does it even bother you for your current friends? Does it bother you their level of engagement or their level of out there-ness, in quotes, on social media?
Okay, so now that we've agreed that LinkedIn is social media, I think I would say that yes, I'm working a bit harder on my LinkedIn presence these days. So to answer the question in full, I'm on social media, but I'm not on faffing social media. I'm reducing my activities on faffing social media. Okay, so on to the other question about whether I check how people are online before we move from acquaintance to friend and all of that. I would say it depends. So the fact that you post and post all the time does not necessarily mean that you are loose-lipped. So for me, the key issue is whether the person has discretion or not, and somehow you can, based on the person's past behavior online, you can tell if this person is someone that you want to share more with, or someone that you just want to keep on a high basis. There's some people that, when you see when they fall out with their friends, the types of screenshots that are showing up are making you wonder, I don't think I want to go deeper with this person in terms of friendship. And some people may be all posty, but it's all love and light. So there's someone that comes to mind that she shares every day, I guess. But she's also, I haven't seen her dragging anybody and posting screenshots and all of those types of things. So with people like that, I probably will feel a bit more comfortable moving for the friendship beyond just hi. Of course, all of those with the leading of the Holy Spirit, because the fact that someone has been well behaved all the time does not mean that your case may not be different with them. But at least on the average, I would say the fact that someone posts consistently does not, in my opinion, make them people that I don't want to be friends with. But if someone has demonstrated a lack of discretion based on the things they post, then yes. And I'd like to say that before now, I'm that kind of person that would say, oh, I hung out with ABC at so and so place and, share online just so that we share and we're all sharing our lives. But with the things that we are seeing these days, one just has to be a bit careful with all of those online sharers that are quick to share about everything they have. And of course, that's one of the things that is making me also reconsider. That's not the main reason, but it's also one of the things I'm considering, that how much of ourselves are we really giving away to people that unfortunately may be monitoring us that we are not monitoring. And so I'll just like to talk a bit about staying safe online. We all want to share and show that we are having a great time of our lives, and we want to be able to look back and remember. So sometimes if there's something important that really happened that I want Facebook to remind me the next year or so, I probably will post it and change the settings to only me, so that at least I'll still remember. Because the major reason why I was sharing a lot was so that I'll be able to look back and see how far God has brought me. But I realized that I may need to be a bit more discreet with even that. So sometimes if it's something that is extra sensitive, maybe like I had a dream and I want to remember the dream next year, I probably will post it and then I'll keep the settings to only me. But I've also learned now that it doesn't even have to be on Facebook. I've created like a notebook or something. I send myself emails and I can go back to them and check them later. So, I think we all need to do a bit of online safety assessment and see if we are oversharing or not. Because sometimes we are sharing because we just want people to see that we are living a good life. But you don't know what's going on in the minds of your readers. So I think we need to be a bit careful with how we meet people online these days, what we share, how we share. So it's work in progress for all of us. So for people that are not quick to share right now, they are the ones with the upper hand, if you ask me. Yeah.
Thank you, Cynthia, for answering that question about LinkedIn. That's my take too. For me, the only difference between Facebook and LinkedIn is the fact that Facebook is more secular and LinkedIn is more professional. That's basically the difference as far as I'm concerned. So yes, it's pretty much, a social media platform. Now to Cynthia's question. Honestly, I don't really go to check people's social media engagement, as it were, before deciding whether I want to take my friendship with them a notch higher. The only time I know that I go to check people's profile is when maybe someone sends me a friend request and I don't really know this person, like, know them like that. And but then we do have many mutual friends. So I just go to check what they are like on social media. I go to check their profile to see if we even, maybe have some similarities here and there. Probably there's anything catchy about their post, something that catches my fancy and stuff. And then most times when I find out that this person is even pretty much a ghost, so to speak, on social media. So all the things that I see are posts where they are tagged, not posts, that they make themselves. I'm like, okay, so what's the point? So I may likely not even respond to that friend request because, it's not like I even know this person before. So for me, if you are not, you're like a ghost here. So what's the point? But apart from that, if I meet someone on social media and we've been interacting and all of that, I don't care about, what you put out there. For me, I think it is your business, it is your personal business. Okay, because I do my thing too on social media, and it's my business. All right. So I give everybody, that freedom to do whatever it is that they feel that suits them on social media. I don't really delve much into that. I don't. It's not my place, and it's not my business. So I don't go to say okay, and well, because I put myself out there, in some ways. At least I know I do post, pictures and everything. So well, I don't personally right now, I don't have any kind of aversion, to maybe I hang out with a friend and then the person decides to post, the picture or something like that. Well, because if it's something that I would post myself, so I don't see why I would be affected, about whether a friend, posts hangouts and everything like that. So, I mean, in that regards, that it's not a deal breaker for me. I don't think about it. I don't concern myself, about that. The thing that will be a deciding factor is my interaction with you, gone, me and you, on our own level, not what you decide to do with your social media. So if we bond, if we gel, if we connect, why not? But then if we don't connect, because, I do a lot of screening, because I'm a very private person. So that's the interesting thing. Yes, I know it sounds contrasting. When I tell people I'm private, they'll be like, oh, but yeah, God, we always see you on social media. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm a very, very, very private person, when it comes to like my personal space and everything like that. So I do a lot of screening. And if I don't, my interactions with, if I don't have that bond, that connection with you, well, maybe we'll just stay, at that level of high. So that's what will decide whether I want to be, go deeper with you in friendship, not your social media engagement. No, not that.
All right, that's fair enough. Well said on both sides. I think what I hold is what Adenike said about discretion. Discretion, I mean, that would definitely influence me as well, myself as well. If the person is someone that knows when to put something outside and when not to put something outside. What I also found myself doing, especially when I'm with people that put any and everything, is I'm always vocal with the person. Oh, please, I wouldn't like this to be online, or stuff like that, and that has helped. I also share same sentiment with Ayotune when she says that sometimes she just when we're in girlfriend request, or all that, you just use it to know whether you have mutual friends and stuff. So yeah, I do agree with both of you. Now let me ask. So no, before I even ask, so there was this post that went around that I saw. I'm guessing you both also saw it. This lady said, "Oh, that she was going to unfriend her. I think it was her best friend. I believe she was going to unfriend her because she didn't post her, but that she was posting her other friends. So she felt maybe left out, or she felt like that she wasn't valued in the relationship or the friendship. So my question to you is: would you feel bad if your friend did not post you? Is that a deal breaker? Not only your friend did not post you, especially if they are posting other people. So if you have other friends, they're posting that person, and maybe you are the one to always maybe post them, put them out there. A lot of people know them with you via your own post. So if you had a friend who you probably expected will be doing that, and they don't do that, would you feel bad? If you do, what would you do to rectify it? And would that be a deal breaker? Is it worth breaking your friendship over? Let me know.
Yeah, I saw that post, and I'm thinking that the lady in question and her friend, and of course the other friends within that circle, are probably this group of friends that have this type of BFF relationship where their lives are interwoven, one way or another. They are very close. They do things in common, and maybe part of their relationship is, putting themselves out there on social media, displaying themselves as very close friends. And they probably even do appreciation posts, for themselves and stuff like that. And if that's part of the dynamics of their relationship, I can understand why this lady would feel bad that she does this for a friend, but then her friend does not do the same for her, yet she does for the other friends within that circle. It's pretty much clear to me, okay? It just shows that this lady holds this friend in such high esteem and regards her as quite important, but then the other lady does not feel the same way about her. And well, it's a give and take situation. If I give this much, of course I expect this much. If it's not balanced, it doesn't make sense to me. So I can understand, why she would make the decision, whatever decision she made about that friendship. Now, having said that, you asked what I would do if I found myself in that situation. The truth of the matter is that in this context though, I don't see myself in that situation because I don't post my friends on social media, except the ones I hang out with. It could be one person, it could be a group of people. So it's just our hangout pictures that I post, and that's it. Okay, so if I hang out with one person, I can post it if I want to post it. If I hang out with a group of people, I'll post it, and that's just it. I don't do standalone posts, for my friends and stuff like that. Now, I have this principle. It's one of my principles. If I do for one, then I do for all. If I can't do for all, then I'm not doing for one. Okay. And while, I'm not perfect and all of that, I try so much to see that I treat everybody equally. Okay. Of course, I have a lot of friends, and I definitely have friends that I'm closer to. But when it comes to public display, everybody, operates on the same level. Okay, and that's it. And so because I don't do that for my friends, I don't post nobody's picture or anything like that. So if my friend also doesn't post me, it doesn't make sense. I mean, it does. Sorry, not that it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't bother me because I don't have such expectation of my friends. I don't do it either. So why should they do it? Of course, if any friend posts me, oh, thank you. But then it does not mean I'm going to post them. Like I can't keep it up. I have a lot of people that I would, for instance, like to appreciate, with such posts. How many will I post? No. So you just keep it, on the same level like that. So that's why I said I can't see myself, in that type of situation. But on a general note, definitely if I'm giving this much in a relationship or in a friendship and I'm not getting, the same measure in return, to your tents, O Israel. Yes, I may not cut off the relationship completely. It depends again on a number of factors. So I may not cut off the friendship completely, but then I can withdraw. Yes, I withdraw, my affection. If I'm giving you this much affection and I'm not getting the same, then I can withdraw the affection. So we will just operate on your level, and be like that. So it depends. I won't say that. I don't think it's enough to actually cut off a relationship, but then it depends. It just depends on what are your expectations, in that relationship. I try as much as possible not to have, these lofty expectations, from people. But yes, if I give you this much, I expect that much from you. If I don't get it from you, then I'm just going to withdraw my whatever I'm giving out, or I'll cut it in half, or maybe in a quarter or something sharp. But of course, it has to be balanced. If not, Kò lè work.
Yeah, so if you ask me, I think he's majorly, well, let me first say, thanks, Cynthia. I saw the screenshots, yeah. I'd like to say that majority of what Dr. Ayotunde said is, I agree with her on practically every ground per se. I'd just like to add a few things to what she said. I think, first of all, that we can't make serious conclusions based on one tweet and all. I believe there's a lot more at the background of the story, and it's the person that put out the tweet that knows where the shoe pinches. But based on my understanding of the tweet, I would say that I think it all has to do with expectations, generally expectations. So for me, if I feel like I'm giving more in a relationship than the other person, I probably would reach out to the person first and let the person know how I feel about the whole dynamics, whether rightly or wrongly. I've realized in a few months now or in the past year that sometimes when you talk through things, you realize that the way you were viewing it is not the way the other person was viewing it. And so I think taking time out to reach out to people and not just making decisions based on your assumptions are a bit important. I like to say that I'm learning not to take emotional decisions, but I'm learning that before I decide and make decisions with far-reaching consequences, reach out to understand. You know me, I always say pray about it, God will give you some insight. Also talk to the friend. And then again, it depends. If it was a high relationship, I wouldn't expect that you have expectations of being posted. You probably, the lady probably feels like they should be in this circle and they are BFFs and all. So if my BFF, I'll just say, for example, my friend that is the closest I have to a BFF, I kept trying to reach her the whole of last week or so, or 2 weeks ago, and it felt like she was ghosting me. That was the way it felt. But I normally, if it was the regular me, I'll just say, oh, she's ghosting me, let me leave her. But I gave her some time, then I still tried to reach out again. And by the time I was able to talk with her, she told me that, oh, her phone was having issues and all of that. So sometimes the way you're perceiving things is not the way things really are. So sometimes having that conversation with the friend before taking your final decision helps. And then if after you've had the conversation, you still feel like, oh, this person doesn't value you as much as you value them, I would say you need to look inwards and ask yourself, why do you value them so much and they value you so little? And begin to address those issues, whatever issues come out of there. I think then and only then would there be some sort of balance. So to personally, people posting me or me posting people, I'm not really about public display of affection. And like Doc said, before I didn't even used to post anyone because I didn't want to miss anyone out. But then I was like, so because I'm afraid of missing people out, I'll not celebrate people. So what I decided to do is that, okay, on your birthday, on people's birthdays, I'll wish them happy birthday. At least that's enough posting of people for me. And then if you do something special, I'll probably say, oh, thank you, Cynthia. I may not say why I'm thanking you, but I'll just say thank you, Cynthia, or something like that. So, but all of those, again, like I said earlier, I'm evaluating all of those decisions to see which ones stay and which ones will not stay. But I'm just saying what I've done in the past.
Thank you so much, Ayotunde and Adenike. To be honest, in my own, I'm not far off from your opinions that you have both shared. I honestly I don't care one bit if you post me or you don't post me. I am more interested in the kind of relationship that we have. And the reason why I don't even care that much is because I am not even, like a social media person like I've earlier shared. So if you post me, if you don't post me, I don't mind. As a matter of fact, even if like I mean, even on my birthday, for example, if you do not send me a message, I don't mind. Like I don't take such things to heart. So if you don't, put up a post about me, or you don't, I don't know if I mean, I don't mind if you don't put my picture on, maybe as part of your friends, and you're putting on other people. I do not mind. Maybe my position will be different if I were a lot more on social media, but for now it does not. And I even feel like the older we get, and you should be, I mean, we should change our focus. That person puts you as that someone puts you up online does not mean that it shouldn't. We shouldn't take it to heart that much. But I of course understand those who would feel hurt, when their friends don't post them and all of that. To each is our own, but this is our own opinions. I trust that you've had a wonderful time listening to us today. Thank you so much. We trust that you have a lovely weekend and hope that you stay tuned for our next episode. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Gist Arena. We hope you enjoyed the topic discussed. Please drop your comments and let us know what you think about it. We'll definitely love to hear from you. Until next time, bye!